Hi, how are you today? I was just gonna make some sushi. I've got some friends coming over. Perhaps you would like to help me? Oh, you don't know how to make sushi? Well, here, let me tell you. Well, I've got all the ingredients set up. And what you're gonna need is, first off, you're gonna need these sheets of nori. They come in a square sheet, kind of like this. And you're gonna wanna cut them in half. Then you're gonna need a bamboo sheet. It makes it great for rolling. I've got some sesame seeds, I've got some avocado, some cucumber, some crab, and of course my sushi rice. Now sushi rice is very important, and it's made slightly different than regular rice. It's made that way so that it's sticky, so that it sticks better when you roll it. I started off with the rice and I washed it twice. I basically rinsed it with my hands. You want to get off all the starch, the extra starch, and any dirt that might have been there in transport. Then I let it soak in some water for about 10 minutes. Then I put it on high heat, let it come to a boil. Once it hit the boil, I took it down to low heat and I let it sit and cook for about 15 minutes. Once it was done cooking, I took it off the heat, let it sit for about another 10 minutes, and then I put it in the refrigerator so it gets nice and cool and easier to work with. Also, very important is you're gonna need some water. Water doesn't seem important, but due to the stickiness of the rice, you're gonna need the water to wet your hands, wet your nice sharp knife, be very careful. So that way the knife doesn't stick, your fingers don't stick, you don't make a mess. That's something you don't want. Step one, I start with my nori sheet. I place it on my bamboo mat. There's a shiny side and a dull side. You place it shiny side down. Then, get your fingers wet. You grab a good handful of rice. Somewhere between a golf ball and a baseball size. Kind of form it together. And then you smush it down and spread it out on your short nori sheet. And what you're gonna wanna do is just get it nice and spread out even. You're still gonna wanna see some of the nori through the rice though. Now, the California roll, which I'll be making today, started in Los Angeles back in the 60s or 70s. Los Angeles was a hotbed for a lot of Japanese immigrants that were coming in, and they were bringing their tradition home, or to their new home. And so what they did was they couldn't find some of the ingredients that they were using back home. So as a substitute for fatty tuna, they realized that avocado works great. So therefore, that's the start of the California roll. Then they decided that they're gonna make it inside out. Basically, the rice is gonna be on the outside instead of the nori, because Americans, they weren't too hip on biting into seaweed, which is understandable. So there, the California Inside-Out roll was born. And by the 80s, it had spread across the United States, and it was a hit. So I've got my rice spread out pretty evenly. You still want to be able to see some of the nori through. Then you take your sesame seeds, and you get a light dusting across the rice. Then, once that's in there, you flip the nori with the rice outside so the rice is down. Then you take your fillers. I've got avocado, which just kind of lay out in a row. I've got cucumber. Again, just lay it out. And then finish it up with the nice crab. You can use real crab, you can use imitation crab. I've got my fillers. And what you do is you take your bamboo roll and you roll it in half to get it nice and set. And then you come back and you just give it a nice roll. Nice even pressure all the way through. You take it out, and there's your roll. Again, wet your knife, I've got a wet rag just for such purpose. Light sawing motion, right in half. You've got your sushi California roll. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, these things are easy to make. They're crowd pleasers. Everybody loves them. I haven't found anybody that has said no to them. So there, you have your roll. You prop it up to show what's in it. You set it on your dish. You're set. There's your sushi. Now let's eat.